Hello again, and welcome back to QuickBooks Desktop for our payments section. Now, we probably are getting pretty tired of hearing Tomasz say that what's in Housecall is going to be what's in QuickBooks, but you're going to hear me say it a few more times for these payments because, again, what's in Housecall, that's exactly what's coming over into our QuickBooks. Our integration, it has a very straightforward field-to-field approach, so nothing should ever surprise you inside your QuickBooks because it should be exactly what came over from Housecall. In this case, of course, we've got our customer, our payment amount, our date, I should be highlighting these as I go, our payment amount, our date, our reference number, which is always going to be our invoice number, always, 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 along with, of course, the invoice that this is being applied to. Now, this is how absolutely every payment that we make inside of Housecall is going to come over into QuickBooks, just like this. Now, very, very important, QuickBooks Desktop, and QuickBooks Online have a very different process for how to handle credit cards that are processed through Housecall. We are going to talk now about how to handle them in QuickBooks Desktop. Please do keep in mind, very different from QuickBooks Online, a very different procedure. So if you have found your way here and you do have QuickBooks Online, please go take a look at that video instead. What I show you next will not be terribly helpful to you when you're handling your deposits. So for those of us, of course, who are QuickBooks Desktop users here. Once this payment comes in, we are going to need to deposit it. We are going to need to deposit all of the payments that come in from Housecall. So as we ordinarily would, let's just get back to our home screen here. We're going to go into our deposits. We're going to grab the appropriate deposits. Do keep in mind, Housecall, we batch our deposits. So there are 6 deposits a week that will go into your bank account. And of course, all of the payments that you receive will be grouped into, those 6 payments or those 6 deposits, excuse me. We're going to grab the appropriate invoices that are part of the batch, add them to our deposit. Now, what I am about to show you next, this is the suggested Housecall method of handling deposits with the fees withheld before deposit. That is, of course, how Housecall handles our deposit. Now, I am, as with anything having to do with QuickBooks, please do run this by your accountant or bookkeeper before you just start doing it. Make sure at the very least that they're aware that you're doing it, and hopefully that they are on board with the way that we're suggesting it, that it works with the way they've been running your books. The last thing we want is for your accountant or bookkeeper to be suddenly surprised that this new process is happening. So what we suggest is that we come in here, we want to grab a vendor, we want to grab a COGS account for those fees. We suggest a COGS account. Some people will use expense accounts, but either way, we want to make sure we put that into account so we can track those expenses. Memo, check number, and obviously payment method and class. These are entirely up to you. You are welcome to use them, but they are not required for what we're suggesting here. The last thing that we want to do, and this very much is required, is that we want to put in a negative dollar amount. Now, this negative dollar amount is going to correspond to the credit card fees that you see in My Money over in Housecall. And what that will do, if we keep an eye on that deposit total in the lower right-hand corner, once we click off of the line item where we've added that negative amount, you're going to see it decreases the deposit total. This is how we are able to account for those credit card fees, even though they are withheld before they are deposited into your bank account. In this scenario, this 2378, that's what you would see if you logged into your Chase account, Wells Fargo, what have you. And that's, of course, what Housecall is going to show in My Money as the total amount that was deposited into your bank account, which is, of course, the invoice total less the fees. Now, it is entirely possible, if you so choose, to add 3 different line items to break the fees down on an invoice level. That is entirely up to you, or to do it as one lump sum, excuse me. Either way you choose to do it, is equally valid. It is just going to be a difference in the total amount of work. If you do have 10 or 15 or 25 payments that you're depositing in a day, and you are going to add those fees, individually for each of those line items, that would be a fair amount of work. So just do keep that in mind as you're thinking about how you want to start using your QuickBooks. Once we've done that, of course, we can save and close. And now those payments, that deposit is reconciliation ready. With that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this section covering customers, invoices, and payments. As I've mentioned, there will be more videos coming in the future looking at additional aspects of, in this case, specifically the Housecall Pro QuickBooks desktop integration. So definitely look forward to those. But for now, I'm going to let you go, and thank you for watching.